What's up, people? I'm chilling out here in Alabama. It's a little bit outside of my home turf. I'm taking 3 days to recon this area out here in this large national forest. It's right across the border here in Tennessee. It's a pretty large tract of land out here, so I figured 3 days is enough time to come out here, hike into my location, spend the night, wake up the next morning, recon the area, hit the sack again, wake up the next morning on day 3, and hike back to my vehicle. So in preparation for this 3-day trip, I put together what I'm calling my long-range patrol kit. Now this is specifically designed for summer. It's not super heavy. I'm not focused on any sort of high-level threats, opposing forces, anything like that. I'm not carrying a heavy weapon with me, like my AK. I'm not carrying a bunch of ammo with me. What I'm really concerned about out here is just recon, patrolling an area, finding out all the resources in the general vicinity, and just enjoying my time out here, but still covering my personal protection area and also covering all of my survival needs. So, like I said, I'm calling this my long-range patrol kit. I think once you guys check it out, you're going to be pretty impressed with everything I managed to pack in here. And, bear in mind, this is designed for me. It's based on my experience in the field, and it's designed for me. So, what I have in here may work for you, may not work for you, but in the end, it's up to you to get out there in the field, train enough to the point where you know exactly what you need, you know what you don't need, you know the nice to haves, and so on and so forth. So first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and look at the pack itself, then we're going to look at the rig, then I'm going to break it all down, spread it all out for you, and you can see each individual piece and part that goes in this. So let's go ahead and have a look at it. Alright, so here's the rucksack. This is new Russian Army issue gear. It has the floor digital pattern, which is awesome for summer out here. And this is the main patrol, assault pack, whatever you want to call it, that is issued to Russian infantry currently. Now, you can see the design of this is typical European old school rucksack design. It's got a sustainment pouch on each side. And then I've added my own pouch right here with some traumatic, medical injury kind of stuff in here. Quick clot, tourniquet, stuff for gunshot wounds, deep cuts, gashes, stuff like that. Over here in this pouch, I got food for 3 days. Over here, I got shelter building and a lot of other odds and ends covered there. Now, on the back of this, you're going to see that they've actually paid a lot of good attention to comfort with this heavy padded back panel, this vent right here for airflow, and these heavy padded straps as well. And then underneath as well here, you can see that there's attachment points to put a bedroll. Alright, so here's the load-bearing rig. This is Russian military issue gear made by Sposen. It is called the Schmersh, and it is the most comfortable load-bearing vest, rig, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever worn. So I've done an in-depth video of this before, so you can always go check that out. In the meantime, let's go ahead and just look at the outside of this and see what I got going on here. First of all, I got a Mil-Spec Monkey admin pouch here. Obviously, admin stuff in here. Pen, paper, extra camera battery, extra SD card, compass, cell phone, truck keys, odds and ends like that you would expect in an admin pouch. Then I got my canteen here. And then right here is medical that covers pretty much everything but major gunshot wounds and trauma. And then over here is a butt pouch where I got a little bit of extra food and clothes in there. And then right here, I got my multi-purpose admin pouch with a lot of cool stuff you guys will see later. And then I got my LMF tube mounted directly to the belt. So that's the rig. There's the rucksack. And now we're going to break all this down and have a look at it. Alright, so here's all the contents of my rucksack laid out. And we're just going to run through each item real quick and I'll show you what I got going on here. Okay, so we're going to start off with the thermarest. Obviously, you need one of these if you're sleeping out in the field. Gives you a nice little cushion between you and the ground and whatever rocks and twigs and branches and roots are underneath you. Here, I got my Whoopee, which is perfect for these conditions. The temps got down to about 55, 60 last night. Using this, I was good to go. And the bugs were also out last night, so it's nice to have the shemagh. I just basically wrap this real loose around my head, come around 10 and 11 o'clock at night when they really start to get heavy, and these will keep the bugs from, flying all around your head, crawling in your ears, all that kind of good stuff. Got an extra skivvy shirt right here. Right here I got my Sawyer water filtration system. And then over here, I had some basic hygiene. These are really cool little items I picked up. It's camp soap and pocket shampoo, and basically you just pull these sheets out with your dry hands and you dump a little water on them. They get all nice and soapy, and you can take a quote-unquote bath out in the field. So that's nice to maintain a little cleanliness. Then I got my Petzl headlamp, 2-liter hydro tanker. Back here I got a dry bag and a hand towel. Then back here also I have my e-tool, Silky Pocket Boy. And now I'm going to look a little bit about medical items. I carry this right inside my sustainment pouch, and this is just basically large Z-Pack dressing, 4x4 and 2x2 gauze pads, and then some bandages underneath it, and you know, some Advil, some anti-diarrhea, some anti-allergy medication, stuff like that, just common items you'd find in a kit like this. And this just basically goes in the M16 pouch, then just goes inside that side sustainment pouch there. And then also got a little wilderness and travel medical handbook. Hopefully I never have to consult it. And then over here got my folding Espit camp stove, fuel tabs, extra paracord, knife sharpener, extra lighter. These little wet fire cubes are nice. I toss one of these in each pocket of my pack just to have them handy. And then I'm trying to cover any sort of major trauma in the field. Now, whether that might be a gunshot, God forbid, or you slice your leg open on a sharp rock face or whatever. I'm just trying to cover the basics of a heavy bleeding situation with this tourniquet, the medical tape, and the combat gauze. So hopefully that could keep me alive long enough to actually get to a ER where I could get taken care of. And then over here I got food items, and basically the way I lay out the food is I just estimate how many calories a day I'm going to need in the field, and then I add about 200 calories to that. Now obviously I've already been out here, this is day 2, so I've already eaten some of these items, but overall this selection, when I first brought it out here, gives me about 1,200 calories a day. Well, I'm sorry, about 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day in the field, which is more than enough to get done what I need to do out here and make it back, make it back home, make it back to my vehicle without being totally starving and exhausted. And the way this kind of works out is on day 1, I just eat real light, stuff that I can cook up real quick. And on day 2, the main meal is this 2 servings of chili mac. And then day 3, when I'm headed out, I'm eating this stuff again. And then I'm also supplementing with the bars and the nuts. And of course, I got coffee covered here, condiments, got some good old cheese spread. I love this stuff. And some peanut butter here as well. And then of course up here is the pack I showed you guys earlier, all unpacked, and we're about to have a closer look at that. Alright, so here's this pack. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is current Russian Army issue gear. This is their patrol pack. And, I think I also mentioned it is their new Flora digital camo pattern. And this camo pattern, I've seen no other camo pattern out here that is really a good fit for summer. This is, these dark greens and lighter greens with a little bit of red splotches in here is literally perfect for my environment right now. So I was really happy to get my hands on this pack. It's good quality construction. You can see I've got a lot of molly webbing here. Like I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the video, it is kind of basically following the standard European basic rucksack design with the sustainment pouches on each side. And, just basic, it keeps it real simple on the inside. You can see in here, it's just, one big pocket. There's no extra pockets in here. Would I like some? Yeah, it'd be nice, but, it's not necessary. And, I've got a cinch here, and there's also a cinch here, right? So you can cinch down the inner portion, and then cinch it down here, and you're good to go. And, of course, this is all a dry bag inside of here. So, unless you jump into a river, your gear should stay dry without you having to worry about zip-locking it all up. And this right here is a pouch from Blue Force Gear that I added a while back, and this is just carrying that trauma medical stuff that I showed you. And I just added a little bit. This was multicam, but just in multicam by itself, it was way too bright, especially on this pack. So I just basically just gave it a couple quick coats with some green paint to kind of dull it down a little bit and make it blend in better with the pack. And then of course underneath here, you see these straps. That's where I carry my thermarest, and just strap it underneath here like that, and I'm good to go. Now, another nice feature of this pack right here is the fact that it's got these compression straps on each side, which, to be honest with you would expect from a modern pack. But what's cool is you see that pocket in there. I can slide a tomahawk down here between the pocket and the actual pack itself and strap it in. I can carry my camera tripod down here on this side, whatever long piece of gear that I can slide down in here. I can fit. So, you know, even though there's not a whole bunch of high-speed pockets and stuff all over this, you can actually stuff a lot of gear into this. Okay, then here on the back, we get an up-close look here. You can see the straps are nice and heavily padded with some webbing in here that you can hang stuff on. Got a sternum strap right here. Got a nice vent here for airflow. And this is all padded here. Now, keep in mind that there is no plastic hard panel behind this, so it is important how you pack your pack, because if you pack it wrong, you're going to be poked with something, and this is not going to conform to the natural curve of your back. So that's something that that you have to keep in mind when you're packing this up, especially when you're putting a lot of gear in here. And then finally, here on the front, we got a little Velcro compartment right here, and I'm not going to bother opening it up, but basically it extends all into here, and I got some trash bags and some Ziplocs and some other odds and ends for cleanup and extra storage in that. Okay, so here's my rig all emptied out. Let's just go ahead and go over the contents real quick here. Okay, so first off, these are the items that go in that Mil-Spec Monkey admin pouch. Got some camo face paint over here. Got my Phoenix LED light with some extra batteries. Paracord fire starter bracelet here. Compass, extra SD card, and a pen. Over here I got my gloves. This is just basic medical that I'm carrying in that grenade pouch that's mounted to my butt pack. Then over here my canteen, my LMF2, which I mount directly on the belt of the rig. Over here is my Partisan M camo top and bottoms. I've done a video on that before. Check the link here that's popping up. And then over here in this section, these are the contents of my general purpose pouch. My Walther 22 caliber pistol, my fire steel over here, bug spray, bandana, Steiner binoculars, my fire starter kit right here. This is one of those paracord survival kits. I got this, you know, as one of those deals that you get in your email, $2.99, free shipping. Got that. It has some basic odds and ends in there, which is just kind of nice to have a supplement to the rest of my gear. Some chapstick and some water purification. So now, the main thing I want to show you, now that you've seen the contents of the rig, I want to show you how all this stuff fits into the general purpose pouch that I got over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the general purpose, multi-purpose pouch I got going on here. This is another Russian military issue item. You notice it's the new Floor Digital camo pattern, which is the same as I got on my pack. And my concept behind this was, instead of having multiple pouches on here, you know, one for my fire starter kit, one for the pistol, one for this, one for that, why not have everything in one pouch? And so that's kind of the object I'm having to accomplish here. And so we're just going to have a look inside here, and you see that, yeah, you know, with all this organizational, check out that big pocket in there. Got lots of different pockets here. You can really keep a lot of stuff in here, still keep it organized, and still easily access what you need to access when you need to access it. So let's go ahead and have a look at the first item that I put in here, and that is my Walther P22. Now, obviously, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not trying to advertise myself as carrying a bunch of weapons out here, running around like Rambo, anything like that at all, but I still want to have some basic protection on me. So this doesn't need to be in some external holster, quick draw kind of, you know, thing like that. I can easily just slide it in here, zip it up, and it just basically just literally just disappears right into the pouch. You won't even know it's there, but if I need to use it, it's easy just to unzip, pull it out, and I'm ready to go. So that was the first thing I really liked about this pouch. Secondly, like I said, hey, you got all these pockets here, you know, it looks great. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put this in here. This is my fire steel. I got ferro bar here, mag bar here, and then this wood is actually a nice hard wood. It burns really well, and so, you know, if you want, you can just use your knife and whittle off some of this wood for tinder. So this guy goes right in here in this pocket like this. Then I got some bug spray that goes over here in this pocket. Then there's that mini little cheapo survival kit thing. I just put that down here at the bottom. Got water purification, Blistex here. That can just go in its own little pocket like that. Then the fire kit right here just goes in here by itself. Binoculars go in. Bandana. And there you go. You're ready to roll. You got everything you need in there. It's easily accessed. You're not going to end up getting stuff lost in here. And you basically have, if you look at it, you got fire covered, got water purification, got your binoculars in here, got a weapon, got bug spray, and got the fire kit down here, and You also got this mini paracord survival gear. So really, in all reality, I actually think this has like a little emergency blanket in or one of those too. So, I mean, in a pinch, you could almost rely solely on this pouch for your basic survival in the field if you really had to. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to just give you guys a quick rundown of the other pouches I got on here, a little more up close. This is obviously new generation Russian military issue. This is part of the Schmiersch low-bearing rig. You see the new gen gear has a lot of MOLLE webbing on it, so that's cool. You can, you know, mount a grenade pouch on it like I have here, mount another pouch if you want. It's all good. And then you see this nice big heavy-duty dry bag. Put all your clothes in there, whatever else. Zip tie it up, pull it tight, and you're good to go. And then, of course, like I said, I got this little grenade pouch that the medical gear goes in. Canteen pouch over here, nothing special about that. And then the Mil-Spec Monkey Abdomen pouch. Just want to give you guys a quick look at that. So what's cool about this is it's a clamshell design, so it zips all the way down. So you can easily get in any of these pockets, pouches, get what you need out, and you're good to go. And you can see with these vertical pouches, it's pretty deep in there, so you can really pack these things deep and also pack them out. So you can pack a lot of good gear in there and easily have it accessible. So that is that's my low-bearing rig setup right here. And I think that's pretty much about it. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the gear in there and head off. I'm going to recon some terrain down here and see. I heard a train out here earlier, and looks like there's a valley down there and some ridgeline beyond that. So I'm going to go down there and check that out. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys' support. You know the motto, get out there and train, and I'll talk to you again. Peace.